welcome to the Beauty Star Network, coming to you all the way from Los Angeles, California. I'm your host, Asha Dahya, and today I'm here with the amazingly talented Robear Landeros.
Oh, stop it. Some more.
There's going to be plenty more of the next few moments. Now, you may not recognize his face just yet, but you already know his work. He has worked on all your favorite celebrities. He knows all the TV shows, all the movies. He is the guy that you need to know when it comes to hairstyle. So I'm very excited to be speaking with you today.
And look at you, how gorgeous you are. Can we not take away from you?
Listen, when I knew I was going to be talking to you, I thought I had to bring my A game and do something different and zhuzh it up a bit. So
well,
here we are.
A+ it is for
Thank you. So let's talk about you. Now, let's get to know you and so our audiences know why you're just such a superstar. I love in your bio how it says you've gone from the hood to the hills. You're LA born and bred.
Yes.
Tell us about your background and how you got to where you are.
I'm one of the few natives. I grew up in Compton, California. So some of the stigma behind growing up in the hood is somewhat true.
Right.
But just because you're in the hood doesn't mean you have to be of the hood. And I persevered, and I said from the hood to the hills because now my salon is in Beverly Hills, and ironically I'm doing hair all over Hollywood. And so my journey has been an amazing one. I wouldn't trade it for the world. People always say, if you could change something in your life, what would you change? And when I thought about it, I looked back and I wouldn't change a thing. Because if I changed one little thing, I wouldn't be here talking to you today.
Yeah.
So little things happen for a reason, and I'm just grateful that I was able to come up. I was working in corporate America. I was working for the County of Los Angeles.
No way.
For the Department of Health Services.
Nerd alert.
I have a degree in business, and who would have thought that I went from a stuffy cubicle to now I'm walking red carpets, I'm on TV shows, and my life. But you know what? I don't want to be known for who I do. I want to be known for what I do. I try to keep my stuff very humble. When people ask me for a bio, I go, oh my God, really? Because my bio is, I'm Robear and I do hair.
I love that.
That's my bio. Take it or leave it, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And also, just side note, so many famous people have come from Compton, so we should throw that out there.
Okay, Compton's on the rise.
Serena Venus Williams, Tyra Banks. Okay, so let's talk about being on set. First of all, let's go TV shows, working daily. You are currently working on the Steve Harvey show.
I am. I'm the head of the department there, which was so crazy. A little tidbit about that. I actually went to the Steve Harvey show with a celebrity talent. So she hired me to come do her hair because she was going to appear on Steve Harvey show. So I went, and I always make it a point to go see the glam room because those are my peeps. Even though I don't know you, I like to spread the love and see what others are doing. So I go into the glam room and I'm like, hey, I'm Robear, I'm here with someone, so I just wanted to say hi. And you build these relationships, and next thing you know, they asked my talent to come back. Right. So I went back again, and always I looked the part. No matter what, if I'm gonna do hair for the Oscars, I dress for the Oscars. Even though I'm going to someone's hotel room or someone's house, I still dress for the Oscars, and guess what? It's been times when their +1 couldn't go and they asked me to go with them and I was already carpet ready.
Smart.
So you don't want to get ready, you want to stay ready. So from doing that and going to the Steve Harvey show, out of nowhere they asked me, Robear, we like your look, your personality, and what you did with your talent. Periodically we have big shows where we need additional hair people. Would you mind filling in for us? I was like, sure, you know, if my schedule allows us to do it. So then they started calling me and I started to fill in. Out of nowhere, the second season it was here, which is this season, they gave me the opportunity, would I want to be the head of the hair department?
Wow.
Who goes from just, you go in with talent to do hair and now you're the head of the department for the Steve Harvey show?
Well, you, because you were ready. You were ready for it.
Thank you. So yeah, that to me is just mind-boggling how a lot of opportunities just fall on my lap, you know?
And so an opportunity like that, it's almost like it's a regular paycheck. You're going to set every day. It's almost like a regular job, but in, you know, the hair and makeup world.
It is. The only difference with that is that you do start very early. Anyone that works in set.
How early are we talking?
Well, it varies. Like we start at 7, but if we're doing shots before the actual show that's running, then we have to do field shots before, which they'll pull you in at 4.
Wow.
So, and then they're long 12-hour days. So set life, it's not for the weak. Everyone here that's working, there's an amazing crew behind us actually, even the guy holding the camera. Like you guys don't realize what I'm looking at right now is some hardworking individuals that very seldom get acknowledged for the work that they do and the long hours that they perform. So kudos to the crew, and not just this crew, but crews all the way around. It made me really appreciate what goes behind the glam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, that was a great opportunity. It is a steady paycheck. It is clock in, clock out kind of thing. It felt like I was back in corporate. It's one of those things where you get an hour for lunch, you get a 15-minute break. So totally, as an artist, it put me back in the realm of work, but still you're being creative because now your work is being acknowledged on the show. I just had to submit a few months ago our pictures and our essays for nominations for Emmys. So there's so much, it's not just me doing hair for the department, I'm also involved for the behind the scenes stuff, hiring people for the department, inventory for the department, but then also getting everything ready for Emmy submissions as well, because it says a lot for a show.
And it, you know, when they say show business, there's a lot of glamour, and you're doing, you know, these artists and their hair, but it is a business too. You know, you've got to be on set at an early hour every day, and you've got to do all these other extracurricular activities like submitting photos and things like that. So I think it's great that you're talking about the hard work that goes behind what you see, you know, on camera and in these pictures. So I really love that. All right, so let's talk about editorial and photo shoots. That's a very different ball game to being on set every day.
Oh my God, it is. And I will make a little footnote here. Editorial has quickly become my favorite for me.
Okay, why is that?
Because it really allows you to be as creative as possible. It taps into that. Working in the salon, you get your regular clients that want the same thing day in, day out. But going to a shoot or to do editorial magazine, like, you get to really push yourself creatively as an artist. So to see the transformation of these artists and then to see your work actually on paper and that others are watching it, it's just so gratifying.
And so who are the team that you're surrounded with when you're on a photo shoot? It's not just the celebrity, is it the photographer?
It's definitely the photographer.
Director?
You have the makeup artist as well. You have the hairstylist, you have the wardrobe stylist. You have the producer, you have everyone that's involved in the project is there. And a lot of times with editorial, it's a little different because it's not like I just come in and say, oh, I'm going to do this on you. No, I have to wait for direction as well. And 80% of the time, you get your looks dictated by the photographer. So the photographer will normally send you a vision board and you go prepare for the vision, and then you get everything that you're going to need to put it on the actual client. Unless it's a special edition from the magazine, then the editor of the magazine will be the one who is in control of the looks and what's going to happen. Me as a stylist, even though it's a great opportunity, I'm still under someone else's call for what they need. And so for me, I just wait and execute. So you have to be prepared. Whatever the vision board says, you have to get as close as possible to achieving that look.
But they're also hiring you because they know you've done these amazing creative looks and they know you've got the talent. So when you arrive on set, are you expected to kind of adapt and kind of bring suggestions to the creative team?
It's very funny because I just actually worked with Sir John on the shoot and love him. You guys, not only is he an amazing talent, but when I tell you this man's heart, I can see why people instantly gravitate to him. But in working with him, I love that I was there for whatever he needed of me because it was his shoot, but he gave me so much freedom. He was like, Robear, is there anything hair-wise that you want to see happen for this shoot? And I love that because he actually engaged me into the process, and it was a great feeling. So being able to come in and also provide what I have made a difference. And you have to be prepared because if you don't have an arsenal of hair or of looks, then you're only going to give them 2 looks. Photographers love me because they think in their head they're going to get a 3-look shoot, and we end up having 7 looks.
Amazing. So that's a good tip right there. Be prepared.
Be over-prepared.
Yes, I love that. Well, tell me about some of the magazines you've worked on. Tell me a couple of your favorite shoots that you've done editorial-wise.
Editorial-wise, so I had the opportunity 2 years ago to do Milan Fashion Week.
Wow.
And while I was doing hair for Milan Fashion Week, we got the call and the gig to do Rolling Stone's Italia.
Oh, cool.
So on the spot, I had to prepare. Mind you, I came from the States, so I didn't have everything that I needed to have, but I made it work. And out of that shoot, we created 6 looks. The photographer could not believe, Robear, here they 2 looks and it takes forever, you know? And so for me to give him 6, 7 looks, he was mesmerized by it. And not to mention, I did Kat Graham for that event. And she's my muse. Like, you'll see her on my Instagram. You would think her page is mine because she's so on my page like that. But I love working on her because she allows me to completely transform her. And so Rolling Stone magazine was a good one. People magazine when they had their top celebrities. I did that issue.
Awesome.
Also for Ebony, for Rising Stars, I was able to do Ebony magazine, which is a good indication of you have to be prepared to do all textures of hair.
Yes.
Because for Ebony magazine, you're dealing with mostly African American celebrities. Yep. So if you're not equipped to handle textured hair, you're in trouble.
Right, and that's what I really wanted to ask you. Is it important for people out there who are watching this and have an aspiring, you know, hairstylist career, is it important to be well versed in all textures of hair?
I think in anything in life, whatever your profession is, you should master your craft.
Right.
That is what's going to secure your growth in that field.
Yeah.
It doesn't just mean hair or glam or beauty. In anything, these guys back here, if you master their crafts of what they're doing, they're going to go from show to show and keep evolving and growing because of their skill set. Yeah. But if you only learn one thing, you're only going to get hired one place. Yeah. So I don't never want to feel inadequate as a hairstylist. If an alien comes down, as long as they convert their money to US dollars, I'm going to be able to do their hair. You know what I mean?
I love the direction of this interview right now. This is great.
I don't want to turn away anything, and I don't want to feel inadequate as a stylist.
Yeah.
So I made it a point to master every single... People need to stop classifying hair by race. Hair should not be white hair, black hair, Asian hair, Latin hair. We have to learn to classify hair by what it really is, and that's texture. So it's either going to be straight hair, wavy hair, curly hair, or kinky coarse hair. That's how we classify hair, because I have Jewish clients that have coarser hair than my African American clients. So we have to stop classifying hair by race and start learning hair by texture. Once you master texture, you become a master of your craft.
Oh, I'm learning so much, and I don't even have aspirations to become a hairstylist, but I might want to.
Anything you do, just master your craft, and you'll move on further.
I love that. Yeah. Now, I know we're going to get you to show some of your techniques on some wigs in just a moment, but
cool.
Let's talk about celebrities, some of the red carpet celebrities you've done, and other celebrities you worked on for different events.
I love the red carpet, I really do, because it now pushes you out of the normal hair to people look to see what's going on in the red carpet. A lot of times the red carpets dictate the trend or will start a trend. So it's up to you. And yes, there's moments where you might have an epic fail because people won't like what you put out there, or they'll jump on board 2 years later. Now you see what they hated, they're now making it part of the new trend, you know? So it's one of those things, but I've never been afraid to fail. And that's the thing. I love the red carpet. I've done every red carpet that you can imagine. I've done the Oscars, I've done the Emmys, the Golden Globes, the Grammys, the American Music Awards, and a lot of times I've had the opportunity, which Glam Team never gets the opportunity to actually walk the carpet. So I've actually been able to walk the carpet with talent, which has been a blessing.
Tell me about some of these talent. Who have you worked with?
I've worked definitely with Kat Graham, Garcelle Beauvais. I've done Sherry Shepherd for a bunch of things. The list goes on and on, you know. So my first red carpet, like, I was so nervous, especially for the Oscars, because it's not just show up. You literally have to go weeks before and get your credentials and fingerprinted and everything for your badge. The way they search your vehicles when you walk in, people don't see all this behind the scenes.
Is it like a border check?
It's exactly a border check. I'm talking the mirrors under the car with the dogs, like you're thinking like, really? Like it's no joke.
Serious business.
Those red carpets. Like the Oscar is the tightest, and the Grammys, I would say, is the second most secured red carpet. But it's awesome to be able to, I was called from a studio. Could I fix Nick Nolte's hair? They were shooting a show on HBO called Luck. I don't know, it lasted 2 series. And he ended up falling into his pool apparently, and allegedly, and it turned his hair green. And it wasn't an average green that I see hair turn to. It literally was this turtleneck green, like chartreuse green. So I had to quickly decide how I'm going to get his hair back to platinum white so that they could continue shooting the show. So to me, not only was it a challenge for me as a colorist, but also to make sure that the network continued with production. Because time is crucial in production. You can't be down too long for something to happen, you know?
And the show's depending on him as the star.
Exactly, as the star of the show. So I was able to get that going. So that worked out.
So you saved the day. You basically...
No, I just did my job.
Yes,
so
there you go.
if you do your job well, you get the calls again. So you know what I mean? So luckily they called me back, and then from that same studio, I ended up doing a show called Grimm. I don't know if people watch that.
Yeah.
So I did a few people on the show for Grimm as well. So different, it's funny how doing one opens up another one. You know, I've never had to solicit myself out to get a job. It just happened to come to me. And I'm just so grateful to the universe, my energy, and I don't want to downplay the skill set does matter. Yeah. What you put in is what you're going to get out.
Well, how different is it from a photo shoot to a TV show versus a red carpet? Are there different techniques?
Totally, because you have to be mindful of 3 different things in each element that you're in. So for TV, especially now in 2019, you have to be concerned about HD. Because everyone is filming in HD. So this strand right here,
oh my God, don't zoom in,
would be in HD like a sore thumb because it's standing out. So as my job, if I was working this set, I would have to on break come in and make sure that now I get this because HD picks up every detail. If you have a pore in your face, in your skin, it is gonna capture that pore. So as a makeup artist, I have to fill that pore so HD doesn't pick it up. So TV is a little tricky. It becomes a little more detailed. Photo shoots, you get away with more because of the lighting and the photographer, and there's a lot of photoshopping that happens at a shoot, so any error can quickly be removed in post. So that's the difference between the photo editorial world. Now red carpet is another tricky thing because red carpet you now deal with flashes. And flashes will show your under eye if it was done correctly or not. And also it will show the hair, like a bobby pin will show up so aggressively on the red carpet than it would anywhere else because of the flash. So you have to conceal those bobby pins. And a lot of red carpets you're dealing with updo, so you're dealing with a lot of bobby pins, a lot of rubber bands, a lot of different things that must be concealed. So there's so many different elements that you have to be mindful of and put yourself in that element to achieve the look that you need to do.
You are just a wealth of knowledge, and I love that you have also been an educator in the hair world. You work in a salon like we mentioned. Tell me about, going back to that world. You kind of straddle both worlds, the Hollywood glam, as well as the everyday salon work and your clients, and being an educator. Tell me about how is it important to you to be an educator as well as, keep up those skills in the education world as well as working in Hollywood?
It is, it's a funny little story, and when I grew up, honestly, what I wanted to be, what Robear wanted to be, was a famous actor. I'm like, I'm gonna take Hollywood by storm. I'm gonna be the next, So I got into college and I made theater my major. Then I realized I have to eat. So I had to quickly change my major and I made it business. But I still kept theater as my minor. But it's so funny how the universe knows what you want because you put it out there and then brings you back to what you really want. And even though I wanted to be an actor, I feel like while I'm on stage teaching, I'm on stage. It's the lights, it's the camera, it's all these things that I've already wanted to do that I'm now doing, but I'm doing it now with purpose. Because now I'm actually reaching someone and helping them grow. I've always learned that it's better to give than to receive. I never want to be the type that, oh no, it's my secret, I can't show you that. I don't have any secrets. There's nothing new under this glam world. And a closed hand will never have room to receive anything.
I love that.
So I always like to open it and give it to you. So while it's open, I can now receive. And that's what's been the secret of my success, is that anytime anyone has any question of me regarding hair or anything in life, and I can help you, I will help you along the way. Because I wish someone would have helped me. It would have made my journey a little quicker,
Yeah, you're really paying it forward.
I had to learn it the hard way. But yeah, no, outside of that, that's what my passion was.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like I'm just being inspired and motivated for
We're just
life.
having Oprah moments on here, huh?
This is
you
great.
get a car. No, you don't. Don't get happy.
Don't. Sit down. But speaking of having, an open hand, you are going to teach us some of your tips and tricks. So we're going to grab the table over in a second, and you're going to show us some of the work you've done. Alrighty guys, we've got the table set up, we've got the wigs here. As we promised, Robear is going to talk us through techniques of how to put on a wig so that it doesn't look like a wig. Now, we've just put this one on. This is not my real hair. So let's get into it.
Yes, technique is crucial, otherwise it will look like a wig.
Yeah.
We literally put this on her in 2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
One of the keys too is that I actually left her baby hairs out and just matched the part with the part from the wig. And so it looks more transitional, more natural. You can actually see scalp from beginning to end, so that's the key. Another key, for example, on this one, you have to start plucking, as we call, or tweezing the hairline. So you would just take, if the closure isn't wide enough to create a part, then you would take your tweezers and start tweezing hair out of there to widen that part, because the part is what's gonna make it look natural. People will use different color wig caps.
Okay.
You have to know what you're doing when you're using a wig cap, because a wig cap can show the fault in the wig, because if it's a lace front and the cap is laying there, you're gonna see the line from the cap on there.
Right. Now I'm not wearing a wig cap, so
which is great, because I actually stopped using the wig caps.
Did? Okay.
And I actually part the client's hair where the part of the wig is going to lay.
Good technique.
So that you actually have the real scalp coming through the lace, and it gives the appearance of a real part.
Right. So it's not just about putting the wig on and off you go. There's like some important things
No,
you gotta
definitely.
know.
You want to make sure that your hair underneath is completely pulled back and out of the way, as slick as possible. A lot of times people will braid their hair, but I noticed too that if you do too thick of braids, you have a little bit of cushion there, which is gonna let the wig sit higher, which now is gonna give it that wiggy feel.
Got it.
So if they're sitting too high up off the head, it's a wig.
It's a wig,
So I try to get them as sleek as possible. I'll do the braids at the very bottom of the ponytail and then cross the braids over and down, so that everything on top is completely flat.
Right.
So then it lays even more hugging to the head, which gives it a more realistic feel to the wig.
Yeah.
A lot of times too, if the part isn't prevalent, I'll take some concealer or some foundation, and you just take it, apply it at the hairline.
I've seen some makeup artists put like black eyeshadow in the hairline too.
And then you just rub it and blend it in to create a seamless part that matches their skin and the scalp skin. So you see there?
Yeah. You'd never know. That looks more natural.
If the line ended right at where the scalp is, where the edge is, I could start coloring there and work my way back to the part. So people need to learn to start concealing or using foundation to conceal their parts.
Got it. Now the reason why we've got these wigs out here in particular is because these are wigs you've actually used on a certain celebrity. So let's talk about who the celebrity is and the photo shoot you did and how you applied it.
Okay, so all 3 of these that you see and 2 more that aren't here, I actually did on Cat Graham for when we were in Milan for Fashion Week. We actually did a full 4-page spread for Rolling Stone magazine.
Amazing.
And so they're on my Instagram, so if you want to check it out, go to the part that says Rolling Stone magazine, and you'll be able to see these. But I wanted to show the difference, because on an actual mannequin head, they look like wigs.
Right.
But when you actually put them on the head, you can see it takes a different look.
It's so transformative.
And you saw the photos of the shoot,
Yes.
so you saw how these wigs really came to life.
Yeah. Now tell me about this wig in particular. It took a lot. You actually created this.
Yes, it took 6 hours to get everything braided and beaded. And the problem too is that some of the bead holes are smaller than the braid. So what I have to do is I have to burn the hair and roll it tighter so that the bead can fit in it.
Oh my gosh.
So my fingertips were definitely on fire. They were sore, but when you see the finished look in the Rolling Stone magazine, this made it all worth it. So being able to stick the bead in each one, I would have to burn the tip, roll it tighter, and stick each bead individually. So each strand, and as you notice, these start from the top and then halfway. Then I would have to start another strand halfway down, continue down. So it almost looks like this one's attached to this one, and they're not. So it had to create all this intricacy with the beading and the stones. So it's not just about doing something, you have to first map it out and then execute. It's not just,
that's a
okay,
6
Robear.
hour.
Yeah, so, but it was worth it. It's one of my favorites. So I carry her everywhere. Very Cleopatra meets today's, very modern take on Cleopatra.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show how much work and technique and preparation goes into something like a wig look for a photo shoot.
Exactly, yes.
And tell me about this look. So now, was the hair already like this, or did you have to style it?
It's been styled different ways.
Okay.
On the shoot that you saw, I did the curls much larger and messier.
Yeah.
So it gave it a very sexy, sultry vibe to her, as you saw in the photo. For this one, we wanted it to, I used it last, we wanted the shoot to have more texture. Okay. So I did the curls much tighter. Yeah. So it's just a matter of manipulating texture. This actually came straight.
Oh,
so,
really?
I've created the texture that you see on it.
Yeah.
So it's taking the vision of someone and then putting it onto the hair so that now we can use it in the shoot. And taking straight hair and making it look textured like this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Looks like it's naturally textured that way.
Yeah, you'd never know. Well, let's talk about texture for a second, because a lot of wigs come in different types of hair, different materials. What is the best type of wig to work with?
Well, if you're starting off, because wigs can get costly when you get into customizing, but the basic wig that you see in every single beauty supply tends to be synthetic.
Okay.
And synthetic is just keyword for plastic.
Got it.
So you cannot put heat on it.
Yes.
You cannot curl it. You cannot blow dry it. You can wet set them. So for me, if I were to, if I was giving a synthetic wig and it needed to have curls and it was straight, I would literally wet set it.
Okay.
And then it would take on a curl because there's no heat involved.
Yep.
It's more product and then air drying.
Okay.
Then I can get a curl. So I can take, if the budgets aren't there for me to do a custom wig and they're only giving me $40 to create this look, I will buy a synthetic wig and then I will curl her using a wet set technique. Yeah. So I can make it happen. No matter what you give me, I will make it work. I am getting that paycheck.
Yes.
I have to get that paycheck.
That's the important thing about knowing, being prepared, knowing the technique. Now let's talk about the difference between texture and styles of hair, because there's different types of thick hair, different types of curly hair.
Yeah, so there's a big misconception out there. We want to label hair by race. You know, it's like Latin hair, white hair, black hair, Asian hair. We need to stop all that.
Yeah.
Hair should be addressed by what it is, and it's by texture. So it's either going to be straight, wavy, curly, or overly curly / kinky. Okay. Those are the 4 textures that are out there. Yeah. People misconstrue that thick is a texture. Thick isn't a texture, thick is a density. Because you can have coarse, thick hair, or you can have coarse, fine hair. Right. So thick and fine fall into a separate category. Yeah. They're not in the texture realm.
So that's the difference between thick and coarse.
Correct.
Don't get it mixed up.
So thick would be the actual parameter of the follicle versus thin. So you can have a lot of thin hair, which makes it look full, if that makes sense. Because I have a lot of clients who have what seems to be a lot of hair, but it's very fine. They just have a lot of fine strands. Yeah. So then you have those clients who have really thick hair. Then you factor in texture to that, and it makes it even thicker. Yeah. So there's so many things. Once you learn and you know what you're dealing with, it makes your life easier. Yeah.
See, this is you as an educator teaching us the technique. It's like a science. It really is down to science, because you've got to know, you know, how to make it so that it looks natural, it looks beautiful.
So yeah, just pretty much concealing your parts, tweezing your parts, opening them up so they don't look as wiggy. If you can't see actual scalp on a person's wig that's parted, it screams wig. Take that wig, start tweezing that line out, open it up, part the Red Sea of the wig, if you will. You
I love that.
Once you see the Red Sea, you can walk through in your beauty.
It's just those little details that make it, you know, take it to the next level, which is great. So thank you so much for teaching us your tips and techniques. This is really great. I might be going home with this week. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all yours. You've earned it, girl.
I've got to practice my technique. Now, where can people find you on social media if they want to ask you more questions and check out more of your work?
Oh, absolutely. Please follow me. Why not? I need the numbers. Robear Hair on all my social media, so it's very easy. R-O-B-E-A-R, like teddy bear, hair. So I made it very simple. Salons in Beverly Hills. It's called Gavard Atelier. I'm in the penthouse. So,
of course.
It's real cute. So yeah, no, and again, thank you guys for having me. I'm watching the show, by the way, because I don't understand if you're in the beauty industry and you're not watching shows like this.
American Beauty
like,
Star,
what is wrong with you?
Exactly.
Like, I sit there and I actually have feuds with my TV set, arguing with the stylist, like they're actually there in front of me. But you guys, make sure to watch the show. I can't wait for Wednesday's episode. I am fully caught up, so make sure you catch up. As an artist, we should start supporting things that are made for us.
Well, I love that. You're the expert in your field. You're at the top of your game, but you're still learning from some other artists
on
a show like American Beauty Star.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, make sure you follow and check out Robear's work. And as always, check out more beauty tips, tricks, news, and interviews like this right here on the Beauty Star Network. We've got an app downloaded, Google Play and the iTunes Store. If you missed any episodes of American Beauty Star, check it out on Lifetime and, of course, Beauty Star Network, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire. And, of course, hit us up on all our social media channels. And we will see you next time because we're wigging out of here, guys. Bye.
We're wigging out, dude.